Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mazzola.
Hello again, everybody. I am your host, Marco Mazzola. This is the Entertainment Rants Podcast, where today we're going to be talking about Shang-Chi. Today I have with me again is Larry. Hello, Larry.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm ready to talk about Shang-Chi. It's been a little while. It's been out for a little bit.
Yes.
I had, with the pandemic and things like that, I really haven't done any movies in the theater. Mostly, you don't know what's going to be out like there, and my wife is super nervous about it. We have a 16-month-old who can't get vaccinated, so I talked about this before. I haven't done a lot of it. I think I'm ready. I'm ready to start getting back out there and do even some matinees where the theater is mostly empty.
Yeah, like
so
those
many
nice
of them
little
are
12 o'clock ones.
Yeah,
sure.
I think next week or at some point we're gonna plan on seeing Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
so we're gonna do our pod on Ghostbusters Afterlife. So, but today we are talking about Shang-Chi. So, did you see it in the theaters or did you see it?
No,
at home?
I waited till I watched it at home.
Yeah, me too.
And it wasn't because I didn't want to go to the movie theaters or anything like that. I tried planning it, but everyday life schedule and work, and then by the time it was like a week left, and I said, you know what, I might as well just wait. Why am I going to spend the money to go to a movie theater? It's going to be out on Disney Plus in like 4 days.
Yeah,
so I just
really
waited
kind of hit it real quick after it left the theaters.
Right, I think they have a thing like it's supposed to be like 45 days or something like that. After the release, they can put it on Disney Plus or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think 45 days is the right number. So, all right. So, Shang-Chi, Marvel's basically their ultimate martial artist. Top of the tier on the martial arts world.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. You say top tier? Would it be him or Iron Fist?
I'm going to give it to Shang-Chi. I'm going to give it to Shang-Chi just because that Iron Fist series sucked. But I think, they really introduced their top. I don't know, this like Shang-Chi doesn't have the Iron Fist.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So his martial arts are more pure. He's not worried about the superpower in his hand to knock somebody down. Do you know what I mean?
Yep,
to me, that gives him the edge. Because he can still kick ass without that
without the Iron Fist.
Without the superpower in his hand. Do you know what I mean? More that, we talked about this in Hawkeye, more that street level guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without superpowers. Although we know at the end of the movie, no spoilers, but at the end of the movie, he gets the rings.
He gets the rings, right.
We know that.
Sure.
We've seen that.
But he doesn't need the rings to be badass, though.
Right. He was badass pretty much the whole movie.
Right.
Just, take down somebody like Wenwu, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
So all right. Overall take on the movie. We always start there. What's your overall like, dislike? What are you talking about?
Overall take, I really liked it. I mean, right out the gate, everything from the bus fight scene.
Yep. Now we're both martial artists. How long have you been doing it?
Total?
Yeah.
Oh, 10 to 12 years probably.
Okay.
So I mean, I've got my years in.
Yeah, you've definitely got your years in.
Yeah, definitely.
So you know what I mean. So you're looking at it from a perspective of a
right.
martial artist who's been around,
it's
done this
tough,
for a while.
And it's so tough.
It is tough. Like Iron Fist was tough to watch with the martial.
Yeah,
you can't help it. I'm sorry. It's like, as they say, for me, it's an occupational hazard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I used to sell stereo equipment. We've talked about this on the podcast before. So when I go places, I look at their speakers on the wall, just inadvertently. I'm not like judging them. Just for some reason, my eye goes, "Oh, what are the speakers they have?" And I haven't done that for like 13 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I still I did it for like 16 years.
It's part of it.
So it's just part of me. You know what I mean? I just look. So same thing when I watch a martial arts, a movie that has martial arts in it. And like I judge it, like how well does the martial arts done in this movie? You know what I mean? You look at a Matrix, it was amazing. They spend the money on the right fight choreographers to know what the hell they're doing.
Right. The right wire work and everything.
And not only just that, but you have to have that time to have the actors. If they're not already martial artists,
they have to learn it.
But it takes a long time to learn, and not in a way of like this person's going to need it to defend themselves in real life, but they have to look natural. They have to look like someone who's been doing it for decades.
You've got to believe it.
You can't look like someone who's been doing it for 6 months. I've been training people for 30 years. I've been in for 37 myself, training people for 30 years. It takes time to look like you know what the hell you're doing. So to train somebody, in 6 months, their intensive training can be rough. It takes longer than that. So so you liked the movie.
I liked the movie a lot. There were a couple things that I was just like,
yeah, we'll go over there's a couple of I had a couple.
Yeah.
I had a couple like,
But thankfully those couple things were like down towards the end of the movie, and I'm like, all right.
But then you're in. You bought into it.
You bought in 90%. You're like, yeah, let's go. Let's roll with it.
Yeah, you're looking for the ending. So All right. What did you think of our main actor? Simu Liu?
Yeah.
Yep.
I liked him again.
Yeah.
I don't think
he's going to lead the movie, right?
He's leading the movie. He carried it. He absolutely carried it.
He's carrying the movie, and he's going to be in future movies. Not like Shang-Chi 2, where they do that. But he's going to start, as you saw in the end, in the after credit scenes, he's now starting to be involved in the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he was talking to Captain Marvel, and he was talking to
he's talking to Bruce Banner.
So yeah, he's definitely in. We're going to see more of him, which I'm glad.
Oh yeah. I liked him. I thought he had a great charisma.
Yep.
I thought he was funny.
Yep.
In the right way, kind of that awkward funny. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well. And I think, on screen, his martial arts look really good.
They look awesome.
I thought he looked really natural doing it. I'm actually trying to look him up a little bit. I probably should have done this before the podcast, but, why bother?
He reminds me, especially with the bus scene, it was a lot of, Chinese opera acting,
yes, Jackie Chan.
Thank you. I was thinking of the other one that did it with him.
Yeah. So apparently he does train extensively in the martial arts and stunt work, in addition to his television and theatrical performance. So he's done martial arts for a while, and that helps.
Yeah,
and you get a great actor, a good actor who can pull off holding the whole movie, who actually knows martial arts.
Yeah, again, it was really good to watch him.
White, what's his name? Michael J. White.
He's awesome.
Great actor. I really like his acting.
Really like his acting.
Phenomenal martial artist. Shotokan, you know what I mean?
I've seen some of his old videos of his points bar and stuff like that. He was wicked good.
He's a badass.
Sidetrack, Blood and Bone, great movie to watch with him in it.
Mark it down.
So good. It's actually one of my favorite Michael J. White movies.
I like him. So, all right. So back to Shang-Chi, which is Shang-Chi, not Shang-Chi.
Yes.
That's a tough one to wrap around sometimes for people, especially in our American tongue, right? It's like yin-yang, which is really yin-yang.
Yin-yang, yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Wait, that's not yin-yang? Yeah, you're yin-yang.
Yeah, he's up your yin-yang. All right, so let's talk about some other people in the show. Katie, all right, Awkwafina,
she's hilarious.
She's hilarious. There was a lot of sort of blowback or something like that before the movie came out about her performance. It was very comedic.
Well, she's a comedian,
right? And it was the whole the Asian influence, and it was it was kind of like the accent and not doing. It was kind of weird. It was the whole thing on that. I thought it was kind of bullshit. There was some blowback on her. I'll have to go back and read about it. But
now that you said that, I think I do remember hearing something saying about.
It's just one of those people have too much time in their hands.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like it's a movie based on a comic book.
But the first really Asian led. You know what I mean?
Well, you have this, and then you have Mulan. That was all, was all
right. But for Marvel,
but for Marvel, yeah,
the Marvel stuff, you know what I mean? Like that, that's a totally different character. I think it was done well. Some of my favorite actors in here: Ben Kingsley,
great.
Loved having him back as Trevor Slattery.
Absolutely,
that was fantastic.
Great.
Love at the end when he's playing dead.
Yeah,
he's like, "Come on, buddy, play dead with me. Do this."
And then the little furry thing,
you whatever the hell without a head. Yes.
Yeah, just flips upside down.
Yeah.
No, but Ben Kingsley in this movie was awesome.
Kingsley. I love him.
He's
one of those guys you could watch read a phone book.
Oh yeah,
and you're entranced to watching him read a phone book. He's Sir Ben Kingsley. That's right. That's right.
He got
Michelle
that.
Yao.
Yep.
I mean, come on, basically royalty at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many movies with her in it. All the epic wire work movies that she's been in, all the Hong Kong movies that she's been
Tiger
in.
And all that.
Yeah, she's great. I love watching her.
She in House of a Thousand Daggers. I feel like she was. I gotta look her up. Let me look her up.
I'm on that now.
I feel like she was. That was a great.
That was really good. I don't know if she was on it. You know who may have been in that one was Ming Wen, which was
Ming Na Wen.
Yeah,
she's another one. I almost wish she was in this movie. She was in Crouching Tiger.
Yeah, she was in both of them.
Yeah, no, I don't see her in the other one. No. She's done a ton of stuff. Her IMDb list is ridiculous.
She was in Memoirs of a Geisha, which is another great movie that I really liked.
That is a fantastic movie. I know we're getting off topic with that.
I know we really are.
We really deep dive sometimes on other stuff other than what we're supposed to be talking about, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think she was in it. I don't think she was in it because that came out right around the same time as Crouching Tiger as well.
Right.
So
anyway, back to Shang-Chi.
Yes,
the storyline. Talk to me about the storyline. What you thought? Obviously we're talking a somewhat different take on the Mandarin. Right, it's not rings that are on his finger.
Right, which is what we were That's what we're always led to believe. It's just it was the 10 power rings. It's kind of like the stones.
Yeah. I each have like sort of almost like the stones. They have something different about them.
Right.
This one, these don't.
No, it's just ultimate power.
Yeah.
And the possessor has infinite life, and you become immortal. And I'm like, all right, whatever. What I did like about the rings is if it reminded me of like the old throwbacks to the old Chinese movies that you would watch, the kung fu movies that you would watch, and you go into the village and there's a guy that. Right now he's just washing clothes, but then he puts on these rings and he learns how to fight with that.
Right, the iron rings that are basically they're meant to build up your arm strength.
Right. Like that, so like I like that. Again, where it's different than the rings that we were that we watched.
Used to seeing from the comics. Things like that.
I like that it was these rings and I like that there was that supernatural aspect to it. There was the powerful where he meets his wife and she gives up her powers and he's like, I'm gonna give up my rings and we're just gonna live happily ever after. And then we see what happens, and then he's like, we're not happy. I'm going to kill people. I'm going to go dominate. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Well, back to that again.
Yeah.
Domination.
Right? Sometimes it's hard to give up the old ways.
Yeah, it's tough. He creates this, it brings back the army, and, I also like the fact that it changes colors when it goes from him to, when it goes from the father
to the red,
right.
Yellow,
so I was like, so it shows you the dynamic between the two, and it's like, he's going to use this power for good. And,
that's right.
It was great. I liked the whole thing, the martial arts, the visual aspect, the magic, if you will, aspect, the whole fantasy. So it reminds you, hey, by the way, this is a comic.
Yes.
Don't forget that aspect.
Yeah, Don't get too.
It was just really, really good. I liked it. I was very entertained by it.
Yes, I gotta say there was some. There were definitely some slow parts to it. I felt a couple, not many, but there's a couple of parts that was kind of like I have a pretty good attention span. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And there was a couple of parts where like even I looked away and it was kind of like, and I kind of got into like doing something. And so if I'm doing that, like that tells me something. If I like get distracted and like, look up like Instagram on my phone while I'm watching a movie, there's an issue.
There's something there.
Right. It's not holding me the entire time from beginning to end without fail. So it did that a couple of times. There was a couple of moments.
I'm sure that there was. I'm just trying to think of like.
It was a little bit of the father, his women, the wife. You know what I mean? Like their like relationship stuff was kind of. I understood the build up why they had to do it, but for me it was just a little long in the tooth.
Right.
I didn't need quite that much backstory. Like I can get it that he loved her and that that's why he's doing it, and then she died, and I get it.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of. And there was a lot of history for him, for Shang and his sister.
Yeah,
we did a lot of flashbacks. To me, there was too many flashbacks. I didn't need quite that many flashbacks on seeing their history and their past to get why they're pissy with each other now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if I'm being critical about the movie at all, because like I said, overall I love the movie and I will watch it again, as I do many of the Marvel movies. That was a little bit long for me.
Yeah, when the whole gang comes to the house, it's just the mother, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, we already know that
part. There's other stuff that was like, and they're just together talking. Yeah. They did a lot of buildup of her, how she becomes powerful and training and all that. I get that too. It just seemed like too much. It just seemed like a little too much for me. And that's just me. I could be on the raft by myself.
I think what it is too, though, is. I think they were picking and choosing on which kind of storyline they wanted to carry throughout the movie, because I did a little bit.
2 hours and 12 minutes,
right?
For an average day, that's a long movie.
That's
nowadays.
A long movie, yeah.
You're looking at mostly an hour and 45 at this point, hour 50 at this point.
I did a little bit of the background on the Shang-Chi comic, and it's like there was a couple of different storylines that Marvel themselves had to recreate because they lost the rights to. Like originally it was Fu Manchu, so they had to kind of change the character because they didn't own the rights. So like Marvel itself changed the story a couple of times, and so I think that they had to pick and choose which storyline they want to play with, and try to.
Face it, I don't think they could have put Fu Manchu.
Now
no, it's a
I think
too
so.
on the nose, a little too much over that top racist. You know what I mean?
That's
like
just
that stereotypical.
Up,
yeah. That definitely. Even if they had the rights, I don't think it would have been served very well to put that in there.
No. But I mean, so I get what you're saying about the whole that there were certain parts, because you're right. I mean, we want to see an action movie. We want to see the comic movie, right?
Yeah.
I get the backstory. All right. cool. You laid out in a hot 2-minute episode. Awesome. Like a little flashback.
Yeah.
Cool. Like you said, maybe a 10-minute flashback. Maybe not. Let's go watch a fight scene or something.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So some of the beats, some of the pacing was a little slow for me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I understand how many fight scenes can you put in. For me, not enough.
And make the whole thing a fight scene.
That's just one long 2-hour fight scene. I'll take it. But what was the guy? His name with the blade arm. That was really cool. He flashes out the blade.
Yeah, Razor Fist.
Yes, Thank you, Razor Fist.
Yeah,
that was awesome. I really enjoyed that. The fight scene, the whole climactic fight scene, and when we was at the wall punching it, essentially, which basically looks like Scales releasing all these soul eaters, basically soul suckers, basically to take out the big. So the dueling dragons. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Maybe.
Cool. Little
kind
bit
of.
Weird, you know.
Kind of.
Talk to me.
This was part of the thing that I was like, oh, you couldn't do better. Like, again, come from the martial arts world that we both come from. Like, I want to see an awesome dragon. Like, for me, dragon represents so many things, whether Japanese dragons or Chinese dragons. The dragon itself, the image, it holds and represents a lot.
Well, what misstep did they have here?
They made him too skinny. They made him the evil thing.
Yeah.
That's supposed to scare me.
Yeah.
Like, that's supposed to be the thing that destroys no, that thing looked like it was.
But what was the misstep? What did they misstep on? I'll let that one marinate for you for a while.
What did they misstep?
What did they misstep? What could they have done to really sell it to you? What were you missing? What were you waiting to see and thought you were going to see based on the trailers?
I don't know. It sounds like you're leading me into something.
I am definitely doing that.
A fire-breathing thing, or
Fin Fang Foom.
Oh.
He is the ultimate dragon in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Not in this movie. What an opportunity.
You know what?
Because at the end of the day, how do you bring that in and need it in for some reason in the next one or some other part of the Marvel Universe? That was your opportunity. Like they said in Pirates, if you're waiting for the opportune moment, that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it, is to bring Fin Fang Foom in and either whatever, you're fighting, he's with it or against it or whatever. That was it. That was the moment. And they botched it. That's my opinion. I could be pissing people off left, right, and right center here. I don't care. That's my opinion. Where was my Fin Fang Foom?
They got to bring him in.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You see the underwater from the trailer and the dragon. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little different looking because he's green, but that's it. That's Fin Fang Foom. There, we got him. No, we don't. No. Right? Now, the other things that they did right from the beginning, you bring in Wong. You bring in Abomination, and a better looking Abomination,
and a much better looking Abomination,
a more accurate looking Abomination.
Yes.
So he's mutated since the Hulk movie with Ed Norton.
Yes.
Right.
Which even in that Abomination, I was like, ugh.
But I like the fact that he was actually good.
So
because they were joking when he's like, "Come on, you can do better, don't you?" Whatever.
This is what threw me off. When they're walking away, I'm like, "Wait a minute, are they friends?" And then he's like, "Well, yeah, what did he say? You show that you were going to punch, told you not to hold back or whatever." So it's like, wait, did they have like a choreographed fight scene just to make
almost.
money?
Almost.
Right?
They're
like, hey, listen.
Together.
Yeah,
probably splitting the profits.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. No matter who wins, they win. Right.
So I definitely thought that was kind of cool. But again, little things that Marvel likes to do is they'll bring in characters or whatever from other movies just to tie everything in together.
Yeah.
So if anybody remembers Iron Man 2, that's where we first hear about the Mandarin. Right?
Yes.
So now
we
it's
see Ben Kingsley,
right, exactly.
And then we've realized in Iron Man 3,
12 years later or whatever
he's just an actor.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And they bring him back, and it's like, oh.
So they did like a little mini, almost like a webisode with Sir Ben Kingsley. Did you see that?
I did not watch it. I keep seeing it keeps popping up on the things you may when I put right.
You watch it because you'll like it. It's joy. It's fun. It's just a little, like almost like a little backstory. You don't necessarily need
Right, but it's if you're a fan, it's fun to watch.
It's fun to put in some pieces.
Yeah, there's been a couple times I wanted to jump in on that.
There's always like that connective stuff. Like, okay, we're waiting for the next movie, or we're waiting for the next TV, the next series to start. Mm-hmm. So they throw these little bits out there. Mm-hmm, you know what I mean? Throw these little bits. So it's fun, right?
Yeah.
If you're watching Jurassic, like the Jurassic World series, they've been waiting for the new one. They're throwing these little bits out there that connected to show you how the Dominion starts. And how all the dinosaurs are now taking over the Earth.
That's one thing that I kind of watch but not really pay attention to is the Jurassic Park series.
I love it. I love the original. I'll go back to the original one. And I like the Jurassic World series. But when you get to like the new one, I know we're going off topic, but when you get to the new one, with Dominion where they kind of roaming the Earth, there's so many guns and we wouldn't wipe them out. It's not like there was when they were actually alive back in prehistoric time, and there was millions of them roaming the Earth.
Right.
There's only a few.
And we have guns and tanks.
So many from the island. They only saved so many.
Bombs.
They find them and shoot them and kill them. They're done.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
It's not that hard. Why it's going to be that difficult to take them all off the Earth? It's like, really? You got a couple of
They've been
guns
hiding.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, this heat signatures, just find them and shoot them and kill them. It's really not that bad. Anyway, back to
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. We'll get to the Jurassic stuff when that comes out.
Yeah.
All right. So talk to me. Let's see. We had so many characters, but I
didn't like his father. I don't know.
Wenwu, you didn't like him as the Mandarin?
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I was not overly sold.
Yeah, and I guess that's what it is. I wasn't overly sold on him being this tyrant of a bad guy. It's like
it was something about him. Good actor.
I don't. Yeah, that's it. Like I don't want to take his acting away from him.
No,
it's just
but
character.
Is it the fact that you have a perception of the Mandarin in your head? And he did not play that Mandarin because that wasn't for me.
Yeah, like
right, the long hair, the whole thing.
Well,
like,
I mean that's your stereotypical
look.
bad guy back in 70s and 80s. Yeah. If you were gonna draw, like the evil emperor or whatever.
Right. But he had the robes and he got the rings and he
like they didn't
more imposing. Like this is just like a
guy,
a short little dude, like what I mean,
with bracelets, with bangles,
with bangles. That's right. That's what I was gonna say. The bangles, like it's just I don't know. It was something about it.
There was nothing that made me go, ooh, he's a Billy badass.
Right.
There was nothing there for it. Like he looked more like a scary guy when they first introduced him, like at the beginning of the movie when it shows him with the big armies and they're going across this emperor and he's taking over the lands and he's got this.
Yep.
I think his character was more imposing there.
Yep.
No, okay, it's the 2000s. He's got to look more like a business suit tycoon type guy, but there was still nothing there. Like even when he met his wife, he was like in a button-down shirt. And,
yes.
He wasn't. He was more Indiana Jones-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was nothing really imposing about him, like about him as a character. Like again, he's a Billy badass. I'm like, I don't know, dude. You take off those bracelets, I'm whipping your ass.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's why, like, to me, he just didn't. I definitely have a preconceived notion of the Mandarin from years of comics and cartoons. And
he just didn't look to me. He didn't look like a bad guy. He didn't look like a villain.
Didn't.
And he was supposed to be.
No, he didn't. Just look like a businessman.
Yeah, like
just and not that they can't be badass, businessmen or villainous businessmen. We know they're
no, but if this guy looks like a superhero with all his armor and everything, that villain's got to look like a villain. And even at the end, he didn't look like a villain to me.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I agree. I agree. That definitely. I had a hard time with their fight scenes and their the fact that he was kicking ass so much because he just didn't seem that imposing. I'm sorry, he just didn't.
He didn't. I mean, his sister was more of a villain than the father was, right?
And she turns out to be right. I mean, at the end of the day, she ends up spoilers. She takes over.
She takes over the 10 rings.
She does,
and I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah. I did the little fan wiki on the whole family line, and if they continue to follow even just a little bit, she's gonna be bad, man. Like she's gonna hook up with there's other people that she hooks up with, and this is again the comic line, right?
Yeah.
But I think she's gonna be a real badass, and she's gonna be a force.
Yes, I think. I'm looking forward to see how they use her.
Right, if they play it right, I think that they could take this on for a little bit. And
does she ever break out of the Shang-Chi series and affect the rest of the Marvel universe in any way? I mean, we're getting into all the Kang stuff right now. So
right.
So we're on Kang watch. Like every time you turn around, like what's going on?
I don't know.
Because obviously 10 Rings affected in the Iron Man series to a certain degree, which I thought, to me, that was a little weird how they played through that. So almost retconned it.
Yeah.
That they were, you know what I mean? The guys in the desert were part of the Ten Rings. How are they part of the Ten Rings that has you know what I mean, from China? How, you know what I mean? How do they connect together?
I don't know if it's going to be that much of a huge influence. I think that they will introduce her more, but I think it's going to be like almost like a side product of him when they introduce him more into the MCU and he plays more with the other people.
Right.
That's when you might hear her name, or, you know, like maybe they'll make a reference, you know, maybe he'll be in one of the, you know, future movies and they make a reference to his sister.
Yeah, like, at this point, he's got to be in an Avengers movie. I mean, I think he should be in an Avengers movie or some kind of...
Right. I mean, they're leading into it. So, I mean, he's already talking to people. He's already talking.
So, yeah, there's definitely, you know, so again, spoilers, the after credit scenes, the end credit scenes.
Right.
Really,
So,
I thought that was cool. That was fun when they're bickering at the restaurant.
Yep.
And then the portal opens and Wong comes out.
Yep. And he's like, all right, there is something else going on in here. It's like, oh, wait a minute, what the...
Yeah, and then finding out where the rings came from.
Right. So I think that does that go into Secret Wars maybe?
Part of it, from what I understand, the rings are almost part of or have something to do with the Eternals. That's from what I'm reading.
Okay.
Because they said they're very old and they come from a different place. I've read something about the fact that they are, to some degree, referenced in the Eternals.
Oh, well, and which is something I have not watched yet.
Yeah, no, neither have I. So I want to get to see that.
So I mean, yeah. So again, that's
this came out before Eternals, so you know what I mean. They kind of reference it, and they can kind of go back and go. There's something about the metal in there that has to do with the ancient power from the Eternals.
Right. So
again, we're talking about that connectivity between
through
Marvel
all the movies and throughout the universe, which is something great.
Even though it's a standalone movie, it connects to everything.
It connects to something else, which
makes it more fun.
Right. I mean, it makes it more fun. It opens the door as well to reference things, the callbacks, which we all love.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when we watch these movies, when, you know, just little Easter eggs in here and there, we love to see things like this.
We all want to be Captain America and go, I get that reference.
Yeah.
I get that reference. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
absolutely.
yep.
So it is fun when they do stuff like that. I want to see more of it. I definitely want to see, you know, this whole multiverse opening. I can't wait to see some of the old stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, how do they play it in? How do they pull it into, and just kind of, even if it's just little snippets, right? Like, did you see when DC did their Multiverse, the Crisis on Infinite Earth series?
Yes, I did watch that, actually.
And they just had like the quick little snippets, right? Robert Wool from the '89 Batman. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You had that when then you had basically Robin walking down the street.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You had him walking down. He had the sweater on.
He had the sweater on, right?
Not quite in Robin fighting shape, but he was
a shape.
You know, he was a circle. It's okay.
It's all right.
But still, you know, to see him in there with a sweater that had the same color.
The same color scheme, yeah.
Yeah, to show the difference. That was Earth 66, like
yep.
that, you know, Earth 89.
Yep.
Things like that. Like, that was cool. So it's kind of, I want to see the same. I want to see Marvel do the same thing. It's Marvel in the movies. I think they could do it better.
I think they could do it a lot better. And again, like I've said it countless times, when it comes to multiverse, just don't give me that lazy writing.
Yeah.
Don't give me lazy writing. And we've talked about the rules. If you set rules,
yes,
you better follow.
You've got to play within your own rules.
Right, you have to play within your own rules.
Don't
you just
write
can't
around your rules to solve a problem. I think that's really lazy.
And also,
like I said before, it's basically treating the audience like we're stupid.
Right.
We're just gonna do this because we need to move it along. Like, you can do better.
Yeah, you could do better. Because again, there are people that we've been watching this from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the writing around it, that might fool like the people that just started watching it.
Yeah.
But we've been watching this for years. Now,
when was the first Iron Man? 2009? When was the first one?
It's got to be somewhere around there, because it was 10 years. The Infinity Saga was about 10 years. So,
right.
I mean, Iron Man 1 was the one that starts this all off. Right. Or does it?
2008. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, technically, that's when they, you know what I mean? That's when they say Iron Man hit it with Tony. Yeah, that 2008 was when it really
because the Hulk came out after that, and
yes.
that's when he's in the bar and Tony Stark walks in short.
Yeah, Iron Man was the first one. So, 2008. So now we've been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, and we've been watching this. We've watched all the movies. We've watched,
I watched the movies. We've watched the Disney Plus series.
I was saying the Disney Plus series where they tricked us by saying, "Hey, we know that you want more, and this is how we're going to give you more, and we know that you're not too much of a fan of these second tier characters, but we're going to make them kind of sort of important to explain for the things down the line. So it's like, okay,
and
yeah,
they're
you
magic
win.
at that. I mean, they are magical.
So good.
We have these second-tier characters you don't give a shit about.
No.
We're gonna make you give a shit about them.
Right, you're
because
gonna want
to.
to.
You want to watch the rest of what happens.
Yeah.
Then you need to worry about these second-tier characters because we're
Like,
gonna throw them in some TV Plus series.
And then with their extra little credits, they throw out these thoughts and ideas like, oh, wait a minute, are they gonna are they gonna do a Dark Avengers?
Yeah.
It looks like they're already starting to,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So it's like,
yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so it's like, all right, wait a minute. So now you're giving me a little bit.
Is in there.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you're giving me some of these things, and I'm like, all right. So now I have to continue watching these Disney Plus because that's where they'll probably all introduce the Dark Avengers.
That brings up another topic, right? We have the overarch, right? Kang is going to be the next major villain, right?
Yes.
Supposedly for the next phase. And we're talking about them bringing in the Young Avengers, and we're talking about the Dark Avengers. Is it too much? Are we throwing too much out there all at one time? Time-wise, you kind of have to, right? The actors aren't like comic book characters where they're going to stay young forever.
Right.
Superman's been 29 or whatever they are, 31 for like forever, right? And he can always be. Although now he's not, in case if you haven't been following the new Superman, he's got great temple. He's actually starting to show his age.
Oh.
There was a whole story. He got like zapped by some weird kryptonite or whatever. Now he's actually kind of like aging.
He's aging?
So his son is becoming the new Superman of Earth. And he's off doing other stuff.
Oh.
Anyway, but I digress. So
Which we do
all the time. And that's okay. That's why I love this podcast. We can do that all the time. So, you have to kind of if you're going to play these stories out, if you want to do Dark Avengers, if you want to do Young Avengers, you need the Jeremy Renners, you need these people to introduce it. You have to kick it through. You can't just come out with, hey, look, we're doing Young Avengers. There has to be a lead into it. But you need the people who've been with you for the last 13 years to lead you into it. Eventually, they're going to be either off doing other things or too expensive or just age out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's something's going to happen. Heaven forbid, like I said, we have a Chadwick Boseman who just, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's obviously another concern. But, you have to kind of get a lot of the stuff going.
Right. Yep.
Otherwise, it doesn't have any continuity.
And I think that they're doing it right. Even if they just mention it.
Yeah.
If they don't release the let's say they do a Dark Avengers, right? Which they're clearly showing you.
Yeah, we're piecing it together.
Right, we're piecing it together. Even if they wait, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, that's fine because we haven't had any standalone those characters that they introduced. Yeah. The first time I saw her in any of the Marvel ones was in Black Widow.
Right.
I'm probably not going to remember who it was, and I'm sorry, but in 8 years, if they do decide, I'm not going to be like, that wasn't the same. No, I'm not worried about that.
I will. I'm a pain in the ass.
That's fine.
I'm a pain in the ass when it comes to that. I mean,
the whole recasting for certain things,
I'm okay with it sometimes.
Don't recast Thor because, Hemsworth is doing something else. Don't do that to me.
He owns that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
could not recast Tony Stark.
Right, like those main characters.
Yeah. Second, third tier characters.
And honestly,
we talked about that with Linda Cardellini. Like, they kept her as as Hawkeye's wife. Like, I thought that's pretty cool.
I mean, it's cool.
Could you recast her? Probably.
I
like her, but at the end of the day, she's on there for 5 seconds. You can probably recast her.
I mean,
but I like the continuity.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. agent one would be a little tough just because.
Yeah.
We watched the whole series with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he was in like half that series. Right. So that one's a little hard. So I feel like you would have to maybe push it just a little bit, just so he can be on board. And like you said, like so he doesn't age out.
Yeah.
So that one you might have to push out.
Yeah.
But even if they recasted him, whatever. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him.
I was okay with him.
Yeah, I liked him well enough. It's kind of odd looking dude, but yeah.
It's
Kurt Russell's son.
Is that Kurt Russell's son?
Yeah.
Oh, now that you say that, actually, he looks a lot like him.
Yeah, it's his son. So yeah, which is funny because Kurt Russell's in.
His Ego. His Ego, yeah.
Yeah, so that
literally
was pretty cool. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
So say again, and we digress, but again, I mean, so how do they play Shang-Chi into future MCU? I think they could do worlds with him.
With him, absolutely.
With him.
His sister. Now that he has the rings and everything like that, absolutely. And if they are part of that Eternals backstory type of stuff, there's no doubt.
And with him, you need a villain to carry with him.
Because that's going to be maybe, part of the power of how they defeat Kang. You don't know. I mean, obviously the world's open, right? There's so many. The possibilities are endless. Because they're still going to flesh out all that.
Yeah.
We still have to work. We have so many more years ahead of us in Phase 4.
I mean, I wonder if Phase 5.
I think it's Phase 4.
Is it just Phase 4? I thought it was Phase 5.
I think it's Phase 4.
I don't know phases.
It's Phase 4 because it's when Fantastic Four is coming in.
So
It's when they were talking about it. They were playing off of the whole Phase 4.
How's your cheesiness?
I know. It's Phase 4 brings in the Fantastic Four.
Great.
Yeah.
So I mean,
when are we going to get the X-Men? We don't know.
I hope.
They're still teasing it for the Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness.
How cool would that be if Multiverse of Madness, I know we're going off topic again, but how cool, because it's not really, it's Marvel, how cool would Multiverse of Madness bring in Professor X to help stop what's going on?
Absolutely.
And if it's not Patrick Stewart, Professor X, I'm freaking out of here.
Which Professor X do you want?
But
do you want
it's
younger?
Multiverse. We haven't mutants yet in our universe, in the DC universe.
And I think
is that the way they bring in mutants?
I honestly think it's either going to be this one, or, I think it might either be Spider-Man, where they may hint at it, or Multiverse of Madness, because the Multiverse of Madness.
My bet's on Multiverse of Madness.
I think that we're going to see more of it, but I think.
That's the theory anyway, is that, Doctor Strange needs help controlling Wanda.
Yeah, so who do you bring?
How do you control Wanda? You need Professor Xavier with his mind control power to be able to help her and calm her down.
Yep. I mean, I think that's when we're going to introduce them. And again, it's an easy write-in. You don't have to explain anything.
No, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. You're talking about multiverse anyway, so that the playbook's kind of open. And if you got to bring in the mutants, because it is a tough sell to bring in mutants who have been around for a long time, but we've seen nothing. Yeah. But we've seen nothing yet.
Yep.
13 years of watching the storylines, we've heard nothing
about mutants, right?
You know what I mean?
And according to the comics, they all live in the same world.
Right.
Right. So,
do you have to bring it in multiverse style? Maybe the multiverse kind of merges and now they are all in one. You know what I mean? That kind of thing happens. Who knows? To seal up the multiverse, to kind of like DC did, you had to collapse the multiverse into one prime universe.
I think that DC did it because they didn't know how to do it properly. And
they didn't know how to bring Supergirl onto the same Earth.
Yeah.
So they had to keep flipping Earths every time they wanted to see her. They had to keep teleporting over to her Earth.
Yeah. And even in the comic book writing, like they were releasing, what was it, the New 52?
Yeah.
And what was it, Death of a Family, I think it was, or the Batman. I forgot the author now. He was like, well, I'm writing my own Batman story, and you're going to release the New 52, which doesn't correlate with my Batman story. So I'm still writing my Batman story. Yeah. You could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So there was that big confusion about it. And,
was it Snyder?
I believe it was Snyder, actually.
Capullo, who was doing a lot of the artwork at that time for Snyder.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'd have to look.
Quarter Owls together.
Yes. It was part of that whole thing. So
he's a badass brother.
So they released that whole story, and the New 52 came out right before the end of that. And it's like, all right, you're reintroducing a character that's actually in that current timeline. So he was like, I'm still doing it. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing.
Right.
So I think DC is that they just didn't talk to each other, and they just wanted to do whatever the hell they wanted.
They have a habit of that.
Yeah, where Marvel is, and I feel that Marvel's a little bit more linear. Like they try to
unified.
keep everything.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff more. I think Warner Brothers and DC definitely kind of get off the trail with each other.
Yeah,
and they don't really talk to each other like Disney and Marvel does. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
kind of control.
That's what happens when one owns the other.
Yes.
So,
but I mean, Warner Bros. Owns DC, but they don't. I don't really feel like they have a Kevin Feige.
Right.
They've had some, but they keep like Jeff Johns, but now Jim Lee's doing it. But it's like, well, how long is he going to last? Because they just can't keep their shit together.
Well, and again, this has just been my theory. Not theory, but this has just been my feelings. I think DC sucks. I've always thought DC sucks.
Which hurts my heart.
I know.
Hurts my heart. I grew up DC.
I know.
I was a Superpowers fan, Super Friends fan.
And listen, I loved watching those. Absolutely.
Here's my thing. I know we're way off topic now, but
Super.
That's okay.
That's what we do.
Super is correct. I think I want to say scrap the DC shit they've been doing and just do a fucking superpowers stuff. Just do live action superpowers and get it done. Super Friends.
Super Friends,
do
yeah.
Super Friends,
here's the thing that bothers me about DC.
Go back to that and just make everybody freaking happy.
Here's the thing about DC, right? DC's animated movies are unbelievable.
They've lapsed on a couple of them recently, but for the most part, they are super strong.
They're
super strong.
Their animated movies are so much better than their actual live action
movies. Which is flip for Marvel. Marvel's animated stuff sucks.
But now, Marvel's anime, because of Disney, I think is starting to get better.
Changed the playbook for them.
Right.
Some of their older stuff, some of them were okay. The Iron Man one was all right. The Doctor Strange one was all right. Not as powerful. But then they did some like the Iron Man Hulk or Thor.
Yeah.
The Wolverine. It wasn't that great.
It wasn't, right. I mean.
It wasn't that great. But the DC, like you said, the DC crushed it, but their movies, like the TV, I love their TV just because I like the... I
never got
why people don't. It's
I never got big
angst shit.
Yeah, I never got really big into the whole the TV DC universe. It wasn't because they surrounded around Green Arrow, and I was like, yeah, I don't care about this guy.
Yeah,
like I don't, dude. He was like a circus performer that could shoot arrows.
Yeah,
cool. I'm all set.
It was tough because of the way they brought him in, and it was very, you know what I mean. I understand.
Yeah, I mean they have some. I mean they have cool villains though. I have to say,
their Monster of the Week stuff is pretty cool.
I mean, I like some of their villains, but. Like as far as like DC characters, it's like, all right, if you're not Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, I don't really.
Flash Armageddon just brought in Despero. It's really weird.
Oh, I don't. That's even Flash. I'm like, you run fast.
Yeah,
cool.
He's a major character.
I know,
major character. So
anyway,
I hear you. No,
sorry.
I'm with you. I hear you. So Shang-Chi, let's go back to the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the ending again. The fight scenes, like on the actual. Ground were pretty cool. You know what I mean? I thought it was good. The fight, and then they started fighting those little, soul-eating dragon things. And that was kind of bullshit, but...
Yeah. Wasn't there something like in Big Trouble in Little China? There was something like that? Or am I thinking of another one? I don't know. It was
Mortal Kombat.
Maybe that was Mortal Kombat that I'm thinking of.
The souls
they had those bat soul thingamajigs. Yeah, I didn't like that. That, like I said, the groundwork, the ground fighting was pretty cool. Yeah. I did like that. The whole your typical epic gear up your soldiers and put your armor on. Everybody's grabbing them like, yeah, this is gonna be a badass fight, and then like they fight the bad guys, and then
they team up with the bad guys because they were common enemy.
Right, and
that was a little weird for me.
I'm like, okay, like. The way it happened was really fast, right?
Yes.
But the way that they did it, it was like,
whoa, wait. The bad guys over there, we need to fight together.
Yeah, and they were like, no, wait, we need to kill each other. And then he sees his body just get dismantled. He's like, all right, hold on, we need to figure this out. Yeah. So like they pull like a little bit of like a comedic twist to it. Like, you know what?
Let's team up.
You're right, let's team up. And it's like, okay, fine.
Ultimate team up time.
Yeah, right. And then just the I wish they did. I guess they're supposed to be like these mythical creatures, right? So you can't put too much realism.
I know.
What a word.
So, a comic book movie, I know, has no place.
Right. There's no place. But like, so I guess like it was, I understand it was supposed to be like these mythical things and these creatures, but I'm like, those things sucked. Like you couldn't do something better. Yeah. And that falls right with the bad demon thing. And I'm like, you suck too. You couldn't give me something better.
I know.
Like he looked like a burnt bat or a burnt dragon or I don't know.
Every once in a while you get a movie that is pretty stellar and then like they phone in the animation at the end. Like, we're kind of running out of bucks here. They're not because it's Disney and they have all the money, but they could have thrown more at it.
It reminds me
It could have used a few more drafts and redesigns.
Yeah, the phoning it, I definitely feel that they just phoned it in, but it reminds me of the end of Spawn.
Oh God!
When he fights the flame hairy dog thingamajig, like it wasn't even like a real bad thing. I was like, wait a minute, you suck.
Yeah, it was.
Or
I mean, the animation on Spawn for the time was pretty
right. But even that,
but even the cape looked really stupid.
Yeah,
when it was all liquidy looking, and
even if you want
too shiny, it doesn't look like fabric at all.
Thing, and even if you want to come like closer to our time now, Doctor Strange. When he goes and fights, Dormammu. Dormammu, yeah.
That is
sucks.
What pisses me off about that is the same thing that pissed me off, and the whole movie pissed me off, but the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, which we know was the sucky movie, although I've watched it again recently, and some of it's actually not bad, the movie itself. Take away his animated suit, and you could have put a real suit on him, for God's sakes. That was stupid.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff was kind of cool. And the way they did the actual Green Lantern animation, that stuff was good.
Yeah, some of it
However, Parallax was stupid.
Yes.
Parallax was stupid. Galactus in the Silver Surfer Fantastic movie was stupid.
It was stupid.
This was the same line. Dormammu was the same line. It's a character that has physical form, and yet you put it into a cloud of some
right. And I don't know why.
It's like they can't animate it and make it look proportionally correct. How do you show somebody who's ginormous, planet like a Galactus?
Like Galactus, yeah.
More than, larger than any planet, and an actor. You won't see the actor. Like, you won't see their face.
Yeah, you won't.
If you want to see any of Galactus, that Silver Surfer, whoever, is so tiny compared to him, you won't be able to see the actor doing anything.
Right.
All you'll be able to see is, like, a half of a chin. And an actor fighting it.
Yeah, right.
You can't see the person if you want to see the actor's face. It's the same reason Spider-Man keeps taking off his effing mask. Stop taking off your mask. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man took off his mask. Like, Andrew Garfield took off his mask. Tom Holland, not as much.
Not as much. He's pretty selective of where he takes his mask off.
When he's fighting, I think he really, like, even in the last one, he keeps his mask. The whole time he was fighting at the end, his mask stayed on the whole time.
Yeah.
I get it when he's done, he's beating him, he pulls the mask off, because fuck, that's got to be hot, and it's hard to breathe. But I get that. Like, fuck, okay, I did it. I can take my mask off now. But, Andrew Garfield, the end of with the octopus, everything, his mask was half off.
Yeah.
They even Iron Man, right? A lot of the mask, it's like, because they got to see his face. The actor, like, it's like written into their contract, you have to see my face.
Yeah, you have to see my face so people know it's actually me under here.
But to me, and I've said this before, it's like, why?
Yeah.
They can animate it without you. You can voice over it and go the fuck home and still make plenty of money.
Right.
And you don't have to even be there.
Yeah, you don't have to be there.
You don't have to suit up.
But that's the thing, though. They have to have that feeling that they're there, right? Like, they have
You're still getting the money. You're still making your $20 million. Go the fuck home. Who cares? It's a payday for you. Stuntman's doing the work.
Yeah, why not?
The mask stays on. You don't have to worry. You voice over it. You're good. Take the day.
Whatever.
No, I gotta see my face. You egotistical prick. I don't want to see your face.
James Earl Jones had no problem voicing over things.
I know you're Tobey Maguire. I know you're Andrew Garfield. Put your freaking mask on, because I want to see Spider-Man, not you. You know what I mean? I've seen enough of you as Peter Parker. We're good. We get who you are. I know it's you under the mask. That was aggravating. So it's kind of the same idea. You got to see those actors' faces fighting against this big thing, so it can only be proportionate enough to see on screen.
So they do the big
see
cloud.
The person and the thing at the same time.
But so I mean,
but I want to see. They're talking about bringing Galactus eventually into the MCU.
What did
because Fantastic Four is coming. There's so much coming in that they can bring Galactus in. I want to see if they do him real. Like real ginormous Galactus human form.
Oh, it's during the What Ifs.
Yep.
When I can't remember if it was the last episode or the second to last episode when he's eating, but because he's got the headgear on, the armor, it actually almost looks like Galactus. Yeah. And I was like, well, wait a minute, is that Galactus or is that Vision with armor on? So that I found that was a little. That could have been like a little bit of tease.
When Vision was eating the universe.
Well, that's the part that I'm saying. Because of the
it
armor.
Was huge, but you can't see anybody else but him eating the worlds. So how do you see actors when you do that, when you make something that large? And I think that's why they have to do it that way.
CGI, we can't figure something out.
I know, that's my point. You got to do better. I want to see Galactus in his real form.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, why? Yeah. I hope they do. But again, with that though, that's...
Dormammu was the same way.
Yeah, so, and I feel that the ending of Shang-Chi was the same way. It's like, you couldn't give me a better demon thing than this?
Again, it's the shortcoming.
I gotta find an image of this thing.
Just put freaking Fang Foom in there.
Oh, yeah.
He's an established character in your universe. When the hell else chance are you going to have to bring him in? Like, if you bring him in Shang-Chi 2, that was a fun mouthful. If you keep trying to bring him in, it's like, we've already seen the dragons fighting. I don't need to see more dragons fighting. You did this already. So now what, you're going to have Fang Foom in there? Well, where was he in the first one? And why am I seeing him now? That just didn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. You had the opportunity, and you blew it. Right? If that was you looking for the opportune moment, that was it.
Yeah, so I mean, technically... Yeah, Fang Foom was supposed to be the bad, right? But
he could have been the bad dragon inside that cave. Why wasn't it? Why? Because you kill him? Who cares? You kill Fang Foom. Great. We're not gonna see him. We don't need to see him again. He's important in the Marvel universe because he's a major character, but he's not that important.
So
eventually they'll bring in MODOK. I don't need to see MODOK in 50 films.
No.
I love me some Tom Hiddleston. I did not need to see Loki that many freaking times.
No.
It's almost like he was like a major villain, but wasn't the major villain. But he was in every freaking movie.
Which I don't
take nothing away from Tom Hiddleston. I like him. I think he's a great actor. I loved him in the Loki series, and I love the Loki series. But fuck, we've seen a lot of Loki.
We've seen a lot.
We got a whole series of Loki.
Yeah, a whole series of Loki, and
he was in every freaking movie almost.
But which Loki is our Loki? And now it's like, so now we're gonna see more Loki because I feel that they set up Kang.
If there's anything we needed was more Loki.
Yeah, staying low key.
Yeah.
So sorry that there was I was kind of off on my own, but I just looked up the concept art. The concept art for the villain dragon.
Yeah.
Looks so much better than the actual dragon that they put out.
It does. You're absolutely right.
And
look it up online.
This is the concept art. Right? This is the concept art. Your concept art
should never look better than what you put on screen.
Right. It's going to be cool. Yeah, you'll see that it'll be cool, but they'll take a lot of that concept art into the final.
Right.
I'm looking at this concept art for the villain dragon, and I don't know. The actual dragon that they put out there, the Soul Eater, sucked.
Yeah. It wasn't great.
It wasn't great. And that's great. I mean, and again, and to nitpick small, stupid little things like that.
It's okay. But if you're doing that, the overall the movie was great.
Right, exactly.
You have to pick, if you got to pick on something, it's little tiny shit.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't have anything major
overall
wrong with the movie.
Yeah, overall that movie was amazing. I thought everything about it was really good. The fight scenes were good. Obviously being martial arts like we are,
the acting was really good.
The acting was good. The telling of the story, though it did have a couple lags here and there, the telling of the story I thought was great. The character development was really cool.
Yes.
Especially with Awkwafina.
Yeah.
Or whatever the character's name is.
Yeah, Katie. Yeah.
Katie, there we go. Her character development I actually liked.
Yes.
It was funny, which was good.
Relief.
She was the comic relief.
She's a comedian.
Right. But she learned how to shoot an arrow.
Yep.
And she got pretty damn good at it.
Yeah, pretty quick, but she got pretty good at it.
Yeah, pretty fast. But I mean, but again, she got good at it. And I was usually I'm always how do you get trained so fast? How do you get so good so fast when you're at nothing?
Yeah.
I was okay with that because it was
it's a comic book movie. You gotta suspend that disbelief. That's gonna. I mean, you can see that happening a mile away.
Oh yeah,
we talked about this in The Boys.
Yeah.
Right. You knew the kid was gonna be saving the day with his heat, his laser vision, because he was struggling to use it. He didn't like them. You knew it was gonna be that X-Men stress moment. All of a sudden, I'm gonna be able to blast you, and I'm gonna save the day. You see that because the foreshadowing is all over over your face, neck, and chest. It's
all
everywhere.
over the place. Face, neck, and chest.
It was everywhere. It's everywhere.
There's a lot of things that can do that.
Fucking Homelander on a roof, baby.
Homelander on a roof.
I mean, feeding the ducks.
Call back.
Right? So, it was there. You saw that happening. You knew she was going to use the arrow to take it out. At the end of the day, every second of screen time costs you money.
Right.
Right? You don't spend seconds of screen time developing that with her for her not to use it later.
Right.
Otherwise, what the hell was that for?
Yeah, what was it?
And I'm not saying that movies don't do that. That's happened before. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, they're especially in Marvel, they're good. They're good at playing that out.
Yeah.
We're going to set you up, and here is the payoff.
And here's the payoff.
Set up and payoff. Set up and payoff. And that's
they're
what you
good.
need. Otherwise, it is a waste of your time.
Right. But and again, doing the setup and the payoff, that's what keeps
We've talked about that before and some other stuff. There was, even in The Boys, there was some storylines that didn't kind of go anywhere.
Yeah.
Why did you spend time on this if you're not going to take it out? And maybe they will later.
Maybe.
But some things kind of
it's a setup.
in the end, and there's no way to get back to it. But you ended it without actually resolving it.
Yeah. That's why you get the director's cut, and it explains all that.
Yes. But I want to see it in the theaters. I want to watch the movie in a different version.
See it now.
I don't
want to take it home.
Watching the Justice League director's cut, the Snyder cut. Oh.
So that was the actual. I didn't watch the first one, so the Snyder's cut was my first one, and I was actually okay with it.
It was definitely better than the first one.
It
was definitely better than the theatrical release. There's no doubt about it, but it still had a lot of missteps.
Oh, I'm sure it did because it's DC and
it's DC, and he was only allowed to do so much with it. They're only going to give him so much money to finish it.
Didn't Joss Whedon end up doing that?
So the backstory on that is Snyder's daughter or son got killed. died. I don't think it was a cancer. I think it was a tragedy. It might have been like a cancer like that. Died. So he stopped to go take care of his family.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so they were like, tough. We want to finish this film. So
well, he bowed out. He's like, I can't finish this. I have to be with my wife. I have to be because my child just passed. So Joss Whedon stepped in to finish it.
Oh, okay.
And then he hated what he did with it. So he's like, fuck, I got to do more. I got to come back and finish this. I
got to do it right.
Because he did. He changed it a lot. Like he changed a lot of the story. He changed the look and feel. I made it very Joss Whedon, who turns out is kind of a dick. Yeah, I've heard some stuff on him. He's kind of like a prick. But anyway, so he came back in to finish it because he just didn't like what Whedon had done with it. Like, this is my baby. I've been building to this for years, and you kind of fucked it. So I'm gonna come back and finish it. And the internet basically saved it because the internet was so pushing DC and Warner Brothers to have him do it. There was so much of the hashtag save the Snyderverse.
Oh yeah,
that they allowed him to go back. Like, all right, people obviously want this, so here's the money. Go back and finish it. But we're going to put it on HBO Max.
Right, and then we're going to release it in black and white.
Then he blew it by making it a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah, we talked about this.
And then did a black and white version for no ungodly reason. Like, what the hell?
Well, because it's noir.
Do you understand that that's taking up server space, you moron? It's taking up bandwidth for no good reason.
No reason.
Like, who the fuck is watching a black and white version of some of the most colorful characters ever put on film?
I know.
Christ, and you've muted all of them to begin with. I mean,
yeah, they're all pretty.
Never mind the fact that Superman came back in the black costume instead of the blue and red, and that's okay. I get that because after Superman dies in the comics, he comes back in the black costume. I'm totally okay with that.
Didn't he have a beard too?
He did in the comics. He had the long hair and the beard. Yeah, for a while, and then he got rid of it all. Got right back to his blue and red. But anyway, all right. So back to Shang-Chi. So overall take, we talked about it. We liked the movie.
Yes.
Definitely worth the watch. So this is the question. Worth a rewatch for you? There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff to watch. We talked about, we got Hawkeye coming, Hawkeye's on.
I mean, that's a rewatch. That's a rewatch for me. I think so. Because again, I mean, I liked it enough. And with a lot of the superhero movies, it's like, if they're on, they're on. If not, not.
Yeah.
I would,
but I mean, there's definitely some I will like, all right, I want to watch a movie. I'll just go on through my Apple TV or Netflix or now obviously Disney Plus. I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch a specific Marvel movie. I've watched Endgame a number of times. As tragic as it is, you know what I mean? We lose Natasha, we lose, we lose people. It's still very much a rewatch for me. It's long too.
It's not so much that
Infinity War, not as much. Like the ending of Infinity War is almost too push it for me, like tragic. So I don't watch that one as much as I watch Endgame. Even though they should be watched together, right? Because it's one story, seriously. Man. But I don't. I watch Endgame. If I watch Infinity War once, I'll watch Endgame 3 times. It's a 1 of 3 for me. But I watch a lot of things over again. My wife says the same thing. My wife says that, like, you watch the same things over and over again. I'm like, yeah, I do. I do a lot of different things. Like if I'm on the computer doing stuff or I'm doing artwork or something like that, I'll need something in the background. Right now I happen to be listening to the Office Ladies podcast, but that's neither here nor there. But I watch, like, if you get the chance, listen to the Office Ladies. If you're an Office fan, listen to the Office Ladies podcast. But I'll watch movies or I'll put it on the background. I'll have my laptop going or my TV going and I'll rewatch.
Yeah, so it's not.
But I have to watch something I have already seen.
Yeah,
because I'm doing something. I'm focusing on
whatever you're doing. You've got that. You have that playing in the background. You know what's happening.
I don't have to sit there and just watch it because I've already seen it. It's playing in my head.
That's Matrix for me.
Yeah.
No matter if I want to, like, go to sleep or if I want to do anything, I put on the Matrix. I know exactly. I don't need to physically watch it. I know what's going on. Matrix is probably one of my favorite movies anyway.
Yep. One coming out.
I know. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
HBO Max.
I know, but I think I want to go to the movie theater to watch this one.
That's the tough part.
This one, I'm limiting.
I'm limiting my movie exposure.
It's coming out on a Wednesday too. Yeah, it
might be a Wednesday afternoon, like a morning.
I think this one I have to watch the movie theater. Yeah. But when it comes to, like, is it, do I rewatch it? A lot of movies I find them to be rewatchable.
Yeah.
Will I purposely go, hey, let me go put this on? Probably not, but I don't. But I don't do that with a lot of movies, though. Right. If I walked in the room, Shang-Chi's on, I'm watching it.
Right.
If I'm flipping through the channels, I'm watching it. Doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter if it's beginning, middle, or end. Right. I'm going to watch this one.
Watch it out. Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of the Iron Mans that I wouldn't do that with.
I'm not an Iron Man 3 fan. People say it's one of the better ones. I fucking hate it. It is too mopey bullshit for me.
Yeah.
I was not. I wasn't him. Killian, where was his name? I can't stand him. I don't, because he was pissy. He was just like, you wronged me. I was up on the roof waiting for you, and you didn't show up. Shut up.
Yeah.
Get over it. It's business.
I mean, too. I was like that too. I mean,
I was not an Iron Man 3 fan. I liked 2 better than 3.
Which one was 3?
3 was the one where it was the what the hell do they call that stuff when he was blowing people up from the inside?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, that sucked.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
The house party protocol. We brought he exploded all the suits.
Yeah, that one's part 3 sucked. I'm with you. I mean, we got to see Pepper Potts and maybe see her in be rescue.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Extremis, thank you. Extremis and the Extremis was a whole storyline in the comics.
Right.
That's what he was dealing with. It was Extremis in that one, which I thought was cool. When he got rid of the thing out of his chest, he was able to actually take the arc reactor out of his chest.
Yeah,
that was a cool way to circle around the character. I did like that.
Yeah.
You know, the house party protocol pissed me off when he was exploding all his suits. But it was cool to see.
Because you see all the different suits, you're like, oh. That's
the only problem
badass.
I had with that, it gave Hot Toys a freaking open bed, and they won't stop making Iron Man characters, like figures. Like, fuck, we're waiting for every other thing you promised us for years.
Yeah, right.
Put out one more Iron Man, for God's sake. And it's already ready to go. Like, we got this ready to ship. Yeah. Like, you cheesy motherfuckers.
Absolutely.
Like, there's so many, like, DC. There's all kinds of different properties that they like say, hey, look, this is coming, because they do the cons, like Comic-Con, and they put up all their prototypes. Yeah. Like, you like that? Yeah, you're never going to
get it. Because we have 50 more Iron Mans coming out.
Put out. We're busy.
Yeah.
We're busy making Iron Man. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, part 3 sucked.
Yeah. The only thing, and the only callback that was cool with it was at the end of Endgame, when you see the kid.
Right.
You see the kid at Tony's funeral.
Which a lot of people don't get that's who that is.
Yeah, you have to tell you
have to explain it, and you have to do some deep looking. You have to do some deep dive.
It's not like the same kid, because it happened yesterday. The kid's older.
Right, the kid's older. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So like, who is this random dude just standing there?
Yep, he's taking on the mantle, I think, and but yeah. So I mean, a part.
Well, you think he is, but we have Ironheart. It's not him. It's a girl.
Right, but wasn't there Iron Lad?
There is Iron Lad, but we've heard nothing. Hopefully it's him. I would like to see that.
I mean,
I would like in Armor Wars. There's nothing wrong with Armor Wars having her and him and Rhodey gang together.
What's the point of having him at the funeral?
Right, other than just a simple throwback callback really quick, which I think is cool,
which is fine. But we hear nothing.
But I'd like more. I want some more. I'd love to see him turn into Iron Lad and be in Armor Wars. I think that you can with the Armor Wars. Yeah. I think you open up a lot. Same thing with Secret Wars. I mean, I can't wait for that to come out. Oh, please!
I mean, that's gonna be so good.
I know. Okay, so real quick,
I love the big story arcs,
but that's okay.
Oh,
we'll talk about the Secret Wars stuff. But so Secret Wars, a big part of Secret Wars is Spider-Man.
Yes,
and he gets a symbiote costume at that time. Obviously, that's going to be a little different if we do that. But we know that, based on if you've seen the what happened at the end of Carnage.
I have yet to see Carnage.
But do you know about the last of the scene?
No.
Oh shit! I can't say anything then. Damn it!
No.
Damn it! I can't say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it for you.
No.
Son of a bitch.
I suck. Sorry.
You too. You suck. I haven't seen the movie either, but at least I know about the.
You know what?
Scenes.
That was actually I heard. Don't they introduce like more symbiotes like at the end? I heard because they do the same thing.
That's one of the things they do.
Right. So I heard that already. I didn't dive too much into the extras for Carnage because I was about to watch it and then I realized it didn't come out yet. Oh. It's out now, isn't it? Maybe I'll just go home. Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
I don't know if it's on streaming yet. Is it? Did it come out on streaming?
I think it is.
It might be.
It might be streaming because it's already been out for a while already.
Yeah.
So it might be streaming.
Yeah. So you gotta watch it because I already know about the entrail and how they.
Okay, well,
tie it together.
We'll talk about this tomorrow.
All right, that's fine. That sounds good. Yeah. That sounds good to me. So yeah, bringing it all together. So I'm interested to see how they. So actually my point was not about Carnage or about Venom. Was I hear that like Tom Holland might be done after this one. Like that's the rumor that he's done playing Spider-Man. And that it was like a 3 thing, and they'll probably bring him back for some other stuff. But I'm kind of upset about that. I don't really want him to be done. I think he's the best Spider-Man we've ever had, and he still looks young enough to play Spider-Man.
I think he could carry it on a little bit more.
There's a new animation show coming out, but it's like him first year.
Right, it's freshman year basically. It's him. It's him getting the powers. Like,
But I don't
again,
need that, but I don't fucking need
I know,
that.
we all know. We all
Why
know.
to see Uncle Ben die
one more time.
goddamn time.
Yep. I mean, we all know.
New stories.
But
I want to see him fighting the Sinister Six again. I want to see him fighting Kraven. I want to see him fighting. You know what I mean? I want to see all this stuff. I don't need to see. I want to see a real Rhino, not Paul Giamatti in a fucking metal suit. Fucking, that was bullshit. But again, that's one of those like, we're gonna take a liberty and we're gonna make it realistic. It's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
Just put a giant Hulk-sized animated dude in a suit that's attached to his body.
yeah,
It looks like a rhino.
okay with that.
I'm 100% okay with that because that's the way it's supposed to be. So
Yeah.
like when you have all this crap of a guy who can climb walls and swing and web and all this shit, why does anything have to be realistic? Why do you need a Paul Giamatti in a metal suit?
Why do you need Paul Giamatti as a villain?
Yeah, there's that too.
I mean, just that whole thing. I remember when I first went, I was like, wait, what? He's playing
weird.
a villain?
That was weird. But like, why can't you just make an animated like the Hulk?
Yeah.
You have the Hulk.
Maybe they didn't have the money. I don't know. It's
Sony. They have all the money.
Yeah, but again,
Like
it's
Disney,
Sony.
Disney money, but they got all the money. Just make the damn real
Yeah, but I don't think
Rhino.
Sony knows how to.
You made a good-looking Dr. Octopus.
That was pretty cool.
You made a bullshit-looking Green Goblin. Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. The Green Goblin was horrible. Like, I don't need him in that suit.
I want a helmet.
Yeah, I want him. Even if it's a mask, but it's a mask that's attached to his face.
Yeah.
They can move and manipulate. That was what was tough for me. It was constantly in that smile, that rictus grin, basically.
Yeah.
Like there was no emoting out of that mask.
And
you were talking about Willem Dafoe.
Right.
An emoting motherfucker with that face of his. He got that rubber face with the eyes and that mouth and the smile.
Yeah, I mean, if they
why can't you just animate his face?
No, they gave him this big armor suit. I wasn't a fan of that either.
The suit is like, okay, it's one thing, but like, why? I don't need it. I want to see real Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that face. Even if it's an animated rubber mask that you put. Willem Dafoe is going to animate the shit out of that.
Or even if they put like little what is it, mocap dots on his face, like they could have done something.
Like they did for Mark Ruffalo for the Hulk.
Right.
But he's going to have an animated, I mean, Jesus.
No, they gave him
way to stunt that. Way to like nerf that.
Yeah, that was shitty.
You know what I mean?
I wasn't a fan of that.
What bothers me is that like the new Spider-Man movie, it's him again.
Yep.
In the same effing suit.
Well, yeah. You can't change it.
Why not?
Because
it's years on. It's whatever. It's there. Why not? You can change. He can be in a different suit.
That's what I'm wondering. When they pull these guys out of the multiverse.
So what they're saying is, if you watch the trailer, he says, Doctor Strange says these guys all died by Spider-Man's hands.
Right.
Which is kind of the angst of why, because he doesn't want to kill them.
Right.
He's gonna send them back. So this is stuff that happens prior to them being dead.
Right, but
they get yanked out during their story time fighting Peter.
So when they're fighting Peter Parker? Hello,
so they got to send them back to the same period of time.
Right.
Otherwise, it fucks up their universe. Like what happened to him?
You can't have that.
You know what I mean? It screws up their verse because what happened? Where did they go?
Right.
So they had to send him back to still be killed by Spider-Man.
By Spider-Man, like that needs to play out.
You know what I mean? So
but I just wondered,
out Green Goblin before he gets killed.
Right, but I was just wondering, like, but
that's why you have to keep the suit the same. That's why you have to keep it the same. Now, that being said, that's also not true because Electro is not the same Electro.
So
he's a very different looking Electro.
So I saw
a bullshit
something.
Suit.
So we saw something. I saw something. When he first gets brought back, he's that stupid ass blue caca shit that we watched. Somebody watched the teaser trailer or whatever. I don't know if it was the teaser trailer or the regular trailer, but they zoomed in on him when he's got his quote unquote new suit, and it looks like he has an arc reactor.
Yes.
On his shoulder. I don't know if you saw that or not.
So, which I think happens because if you look, Dr. Octopus also picks up on Stark Tech.
Right.
Because his tentacles start turning to red.
Right.
And so it's
so
the nanotech.
Maybe when they're here, they start going, hey, wait a minute.
The black suit that Spider-Man wears, it's basically inside out. So all the tech stuff is on the outside. So they must hit all the arm. So that must be the nano stuff. They must hit him and adopt the nano stuff. That's my guess.
Oh.
I know that's true. I don't have any way to prove that until the movie comes out.
Maybe.
But yeah. The only part about it is I like that his face lit up with the lightning bolts. Very briefly, but it was there. It's kind of a throwback. I'm cool with that.
Yep.
I would like more, but like the whole armor, that whole it was almost like that mechanical suit thing, like that Batman wore in Kingdom Come. It's like everything's mechanical because he's old. So he needs like that helping to move. He needs like the braces to move his legs and arms.
Yep.
It kind of looked like that a little bit, which kind of bothers me because it's almost like he needs that as an aid. Right? My only guess is that it's a suppressor that he can focus the energy because he doesn't know how to control it. Because Electro doesn't need that in the comics. He's able to control his powers.
Right.
It's his whole energy. He can just zap into a plug, for God's sakes, an electrical outlet, and be gone.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's just a harness so we can control it. I mean, Iceman wears a belt because of that.
Right.
So
that's,
again, we're all over the place.
That's okay. I don't mind. That's what I love about the show.
Jesus.
We can be all over the place and talk about the shit that we love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't care. We're off this topic. That's all good. It's all good. So yeah, I want to see. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be amazing. I want to see how that plays out, and I want to see how it plays into the multiverse stuff, how they really explode it.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
For me, they need to do the Multiverse of Madness proper.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not looking for everything to be tied up in a nice, neat little bow. I understand. Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
I get it. It's not going to be up in a, it's not going to be tied in a bow.
It's not going to solve everything.
Right. But as long as they keep everything right within your own rules that you've created.
Yes.
And that's what I hope that they do.
Because the multiverse stuff is going to be going on for a while. The Kang stuff's going to be going on.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's Kang's 10 years. I mean, if they're just going to follow suit, it's anyway between 10 years. It's going to be 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So they're taking the end of Endgame. You have a couple of years to kind of introduce a lot of other things.
Yeah.
We've introduced Kang.
Just like we did in the beginning.
Right.
Just like we did the first time.
And now maybe they do the whole next phase,
Yep.
which is the next 10 years, and spend the next 10 years, and then with all the hardcore Kang stuff, and bringing everybody back in, and if they just follow the formula that they did for the first couple, just follow that, and you'll be fine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, don't try to reinvent the wheel too much.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
Go with it.
Introduce who you need to introduce. You now have Disney. You have the new Disney Plus platform, so now you can introduce characters through that.
Yes.
Which I'm absolutely okay with.
Yeah, I do like it because it connects us between movies as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I love watching. I consume so much media when it comes to TV shows and movies that when you go from one movie to the next, it's months, right?
Right.
It's June to December, it's whatever. I like that in between we still get a little bit.
Right.
We still get a little bit in between. I like that. We get something to feed us in between the major movies.
Yep.
You know
Gotta feed the monster somehow.
You have to. You have to. Moon Knight coming out, She-Hulk coming out. Talk to me. Every time I mention Moon Knight, you have this grimace on your face. It's Marvel's Batman.
Yeah, it's Marvel's Batman.
But you think Batman's fucked up? Moon
You're
Knight
right.
Is really messed up.
The Moon Knight that I got first introduced to, he was a teenage, if I remember correctly. Because I was never big into the Moon Knights anyway. It was a cool looking image.
Yeah.
And that's what always got me for comics. It was like, if the cover art was really cool, I was like, I want to get into this.
But the backstory on him was a little long, and they've changed it a few times.
Exactly. So I know that there was different characters, right?
Yeah.
So the one that I got introduced to was like a teenage kid. He was in the carnival or something like that, and he finds the Moonstone or something like that, and that's how he becomes Moon Knight.
Right.
And he was, basically just a vigilante or whatever.
Yeah. But then they changed it, and he's like an archaeologist, but he's the guy has like multiple personalities
right.
and things like
so
that.
I mean, I know that, and I get it. It's like it's comic books, whatever. You change the story. But I think
Human Torch.
I don't even want to get into that. Crap movies. But when
not even the movies, I'm talking about the comics. Human Torch was basically he turns into basically Vision. Like that's who Vision's body. I think his Vision's body is the old Human Torch.
Really?
He was an android. He was like a robot originally before he actually became Johnny Storm. And then he was Human Torch, the comics, and he was actually introduced in Human Torch number 2, not number 1. He didn't have number 1. It was Human Torch because he was in like one of the Amazing Fantasies or something like that. And then he was like their first initial was Human Torch. So yeah, the whole backstory on Human Torch is very fucked up.
Oh.
And we saw him in the first Avengers. There was a suit when he was going when he and Bucky were going to the fair.
Yeah.
And you remember when he sees himself
as
the Human Torch suit is on display.
I did catch that actually. You're right. That's right. Right. I did catch that.
So
I remember making that comment too. That's
so
right.
It's very different. But again, so then they retconned it to be somebody else.
Right.
Right. Just like DC did with Green Lantern. Eventually it wasn't Alan Scott anymore. Oh, now this is really the Green Lantern.
Right.
Which is a very different backstory than the Alan Scott Green Lantern.
Which some of those, speaking of changing characters, they're gonna I just heard that they're doing the same thing with Iron Fist.
Yes.
They're changing the character. It's not going to be Danny Rand anymore.
It's going to be an Asian guy.
It's going to be an Asian guy.
As it should have been the first time.
Right. Well, but the way that they wrote that off is, I was reading that up, is that the way that they're writing it up is when they first introduce Iron Fist, they say that you're the Iron Fist for an X amount of time.
Right.
And they said, you know what, I think it's time. And I'm like, yeah, you think? It's only been, 50, 60 years. It might be time.
Yeah.
So if they're going to change, like with the Green Lanterns, again, I'm not the biggest DC person, but I understand, okay, it's like the Green Lantern, it finds a new, like we saw that actually with the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah. That's how it happened.
He comes down and he gives it. So
host,
okay, I understand that. Right. It gets passed on, lineage or whatever. So, but just with Moon Knight, I was just never a big Moon Knight person. I'm just like, whatever. Like,
so I was never like, either. Like, I like the character, I understand it. I never like deep dived into Moon Knight like I did Batman, right?
Right.
So the fact that they're changing it doesn't bump me at all. Like,
right.
Pick whichever freaking version you want. I like the look, I like the character, I like the idea of it.
Right.
I think it's gonna be a badass show.
I hope
it's
so.
Kind of the same way for Hawkman with me. I mean, Hawkeye. Wow, Hawkeye for me. I like Hawkeye. I know Hawkeye, but I didn't deep dive. I didn't read all the comics.
Right.
So if you're changing it up a little bit, it doesn't bug me.
Yeah.
It's not like if you try to change Batman's backstory. That might have to kill you because you just don't do that. Right? Make a different person be Batwing, be whatever. That's fine, but don't change Bruce Wayne.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same with Superman. I like that Earth 2 or whatever we have a different Superman, and that's the one that Michael B. Jordan will probably end up playing at some point.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yep.
That's what he wants to do, right? And I'm okay with that. It's a different Superman. I have no problem with that.
No problem, yeah. No, I mean,
it's a great way to do it without having to change the original one.
Right, but what I'm saying, though, changing the story with Moon Knight, it doesn't bother that. I could care less.
I'm sure some people do. Just deep dive, deep trench in Moon Knight, they like the whole thing, but it's fine.
The one that I got into, like the one that I first introduced myself to was that storyline, and I'm like, yeah, you suck.
But there's another character that's exactly the same way. Is Ghost Rider. How many times have there been different Ghost Riders? There's just different people who host the Ghost Rider. Right,
but that's a demonic. I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, it's. But that was an easy way for back then to write how people got superpowers, right?
Right.
And that's actually how, in essence, how the X-Men was created, because Stan Lee was like, you know what? Instead of having all these, radioactive spider and Mace Dales and all these other things that makes them who they are, we're just gonna say that they were just born like that.
They're born like that.
It was an easy write-off because they were like, why don't we just introduce these characters, and instead of coming up with 1,000 different ways.
Yeah, exactly right. You don't have to create this characters 1,000 different ways they got their
so many different origins. You know what? We're just going to say,
it's just a gene in them that activates when they get to like teenager age, essentially.
Done.
The height of stress.
And it's the easiest way to write something off.
Yeah, I agree. A new character every single minute, every day.
Not a problem.
I don't have to explain how they now are stretchy or how they can have spikes come out of their ass.
That's it. Yeah. Because everything else was like, Fantastic Four, they go off in a rocket, the rocket blows up, they die, they come back and they have all these powers, and this one's got this, and this one got bit by this, and this one got something shoved up his ass, or this one, whatever.
It's a lot, because there's only so much you can buy into, but everybody has this gene in them.
Yep.
Right? These people are born with the gene inside, and it activates at a certain age or a certain
which is something cool that I like that Fox actually did in the first X-Men.
Yes.
Where Magneto's like, we're gonna we're gonna speed up the process.
Yeah, we're gonna force it to happen.
Right, and then they turned the Senate or whatever into water, and he just.
So can we agree that? Can we agree that what's his name didn't happen until the second movie?
No, you're right.
I was just listening to that podcast episode the other day. I'm like, it's still the second one.
It's you're absolutely right. It was the second one.
Iceman was in the first one.
Right, but Pyro doesn't come into the second one because then I thought about it, I was like, actually, wait a minute, because that's when Wolverine is really good friends, and and I was thinking about when they go to Bobby Drake's parents' house, which is
he gets shot in the head.
Yeah, and
he's like gets up, the thing pops out of his skull, and the cops are like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
he just gets up, he's like, hey, he walks on, like, don't shoot me anymore.
So we are. I agree with you, and I do apologize.
That's okay. That's all right. I just like to clear things up. You know what I mean? Because God knows I've made so many missteps. Like, had to correct myself so many times. Sometimes I just get like the Swiss cheese brain and things. I'm like, what did I just say? I don't think that was right. I just said I've killed off more live people in this show than I don't think anybody else.
I think you have, actually.
I really
I've
have.
heard some of them.
Guess who died?
Guess who died?
But didn't die.
But guess who died in
my brain, but didn't actually die in real life.
Rant's library.
That's right. A lot of motherfuckers dead on the show.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. No,
Just
all of them
leaving
still
a
alive.
graveyard behind me.
I know, right? Jesus.
Pretty awesome. All right, Larry. That was fun. Any final notes on Shang-Chi before we jump out of here?
Yeah, because we bounced around so many times.
All right. We'll go back to what we're actually talking about.
Honestly, I like the show, man. The show was really good. The movie was really good, rather. Definitely a rewatch for me. And there was a couple tweaks again at the end that we said, you know, if you're picking and choosing like the final little things overall, it was a good movie. I'm actually looking forward again to seeing the next movie. I want to see what happens with his sister. I want to see what happens with the Ten Rings. I'm interested in the character. I'm interested in the storyline. So to me, that's what makes it go, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That was a good movie because I'm waiting for that next step.
And I like the characters enough that I'm excited to see what happens to them in the overall Marvel universe.
Right.
Being introduced in and see how they play out and help the whole multiverse
right.
stuff.
And I mean they have to be involved now because you've introduced other characters.
They're at the
Wong
Sanctum.
brought them. We saw we saw Bruce Banner. We saw so you're in this.
Yeah,
you need to do something.
Yeah.
So
and that was funny. They were kind of like, "What are we doing now? What are we doing? What are we supposed to do right now? What's happening?"
What?
Sorry, you're involved now.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
Awesome. All right, Larry, thank you so much again for being here. We'll chat offline and see when you're going to come in next. Obviously we'll be in. We're going to drop the Hawkeye bonus episode that should have dropped. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, that should have dropped for you already because we're going to do a bonus episode on Hawkeye every week. So I'll definitely see you next weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll do the second,
we'll do the
third episode technically of Hawkeye.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
everybody. Thank you again for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at engage@entertainmentrants.com. You can find us on all our social media at Entertainment Rants. Drop us a line, drop us a review on Apple Podcasts, and we'd love to hear from you. If there's anything you want us to rant about, we'd love to try to get some stuff on the show for you. All right. Thank you again, Larry. Everybody else,
Thank you.
keep out there and keep ranting, everybody.